Hey guys, Chaps here, and welcome back to the third Horde class guide video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Sniper class. In my initial impressions video, shortly after release, I dismissed the Sniper as a pretty useless class. Well, the class has grown on me, significantly. So here's some of my updated thoughts. As we've been doing with all classes, let's start by taking a look at the cards to use. The first card I'm going to suggest would be the Headshot Damage card. This works for any weapon, so even using things like the Lancer, it becomes very effective. The Lancer in particular has an amazing headshot multiplier, so while the Lancer isn't exactly what I'd recommend for a sniper, it's still very effective if you pick it up. It should be noted though that there's no headshot multiplier when on a turret, so sadly this card has no real effect there. The next card I'd recommend is Precision Rifle Capacity. As any sniper knows, you can run out of ammo really quickly. This card can up to double the capacity you store in reserve, so any weapon should be able to last you for the entire round. Third, I'm going to throw on the Explosive Headshot card. It's a really fun card, causing an awesome explosion whenever you headshot someone. It's not the most effective card against large enemies, but it does a great job at clearing out small groups of enemies, and I mean, additional AoE damage never hurts, right? The fourth card I'm going to put on is the Precision Rifle Damage. This gives you an extra 50% damage on your Marksa, Longshot, and Embar. Even on higher waves, you should be able to one-shot headshot most enemies if you have this card and the overall headshot damage card on. In the last card slot, I'd probably recommend the Sniper Strike card. This one can be nice, giving you some free headshots, especially on the bonus objective rounds. Sadly, this also targets smaller enemies, so it's not always extremely effective, but in general it does pretty well. It also doesn't combine with the explosive headshot bonus, which is quite unfortunate. At a price of 5,000 energy per use, it's the cheapest of the strikes, and it's actually more useful than I initially thought. I still wouldn't rank it as highly as the Hammer of Dawn strike, but it's still very effective. And the reason I saved this for my 5th card slot is that it's not really needed. The only thing I really use this for is the bonus objective or to speed up the last few rounds. As a sniper, it's easy enough to get 7 headshots needed for the bonus rounds, and the hammer is much more efficient near the end, so while this card is nice, it's not really needed. Alright, now let's look at the last 3 cards that the sniper has available. Mark Boost is kinda meh. With an effective team, stuff dies quickly enough as is, so it's not really necessary to mark that many enemies. The only thing it really helps with is maybe your score, not energy, just score if you're going for a high run, and maybe the Mortar Strike, which I'll explain in a second. The Radar Ping card will mark all enemies on map, so this is pretty much useless and not worth the card or energy to use. Just as with Mark Boost, this may be nice for a Mortar Strike. If the Heavy has the Mark Boost card on, then the Mortar Strike will have an increased damage. Using this combination will essentially make the Mortar Strike tolerable, but it's also going to be more expensive and just not worth using. Essentially, this just leaves Radar Ping as a pointless card that nobody should use in my opinion. The last card available is the Precision Rifle Reload card. This one's not terrible. It may be nice to throw on as a 4th or 5th card, but personally I don't use it. It essentially could serve as a less effective version of the Precision Damage card, but is more forgiving for mistakes. The Damage card will put out more damage more efficiently and quicker, if you're accurate that is. This card will put out damage less efficiently, but could be faster if you tend to miss your headshots. Alright, time to talk about the role of the sniper and how to play this class. As I mentioned earlier, it's quite easy to find yourself low on ammo, so weapon lockers are going to be your friend. I would suggest keeping a Marksa on your character for some quick close range damage, or as an alternative, maybe switch this out for a Lancer, because as I said, the headshot multiplier on the Lancer is really nice. The primary slot though, I would throw the Embar. Using the weapons locker, I would toggle between the Embar and the Longshot, with the occasional Lancer Marksa placement for ammo. While people are wrapping up the last few enemies, you should run to the locker and put in your low ammo weapons. Most of the time, for me, that's throwing an Embar in there and just waiting till the next wave begins, then taking it back out. The primary role of the sniper is going to be taking out long-range enemies. The Deadeyes and Scions should be top priority, as they can take out your team quite quickly and at range. If there aren't any big enemies to shoot way down range, you should be on your turret. The turret is going to be the most efficient way to mow down the groups of enemies approaching at close to medium range. Try to be careful when sniping things at long range though. Try not to piss off your scout by killing things way across the map unless it's completely necessary. It just makes their lives harder and you need to wait for the scout to run across the map to pick up that energy. Now let's talk about a highly debated sniper topic, the Longshot versus the Embar. Personally, I love the Embar. A lot of my team runs the Embar, but I also know some of my friends love to run the Longshot. The Embar can be a bit trickier to use, but the reticle's much larger, and I find it much easier to get headshots with. You can even still cross-map headshot enemies on Forge or Dry Dock with the Embar, and those are pretty long maps. Sure, the Longshot can be easier to hit people with at long range, but once you get the Embar, it can be almost as effective. Now let's take a look at the damage. On Casual, wave 49, so enemies have 2.5x health, I used both weapons with and without actives. I hit body shots on Grenadiers, and headshots on Mulcher Scions, because I can't headshot the Grenadiers without killing them. I also didn't have any cards on to increase my damage at all. As you can see, the Embar doesn't get quite as nice of an active boost, and its headshot damage isn't quite as high as the Longshot. It does have a lot more body damage though. Most of your shots should be headshots anyways, so you might think, hey, the Longshot looks better from these numbers. And that's partially true, but bump this up to insane difficulty and add in the perks causing additional damage, and the result is that they really aren't too different. You can still one-shot most enemies, and the ones that you can't, you can two-shot, besides the bosses that is. So with all things considered, it really seems like the Embar is the best option to use. I mean, come on, it's got 3 shots instead of 1, it's easier to headshot with, and it can still one-hit most enemies. Sure, the Longshot has a little bit more damage, but for the most part, it just doesn't seem worth it to me. So yeah, that's gonna do it for the Sniper class. This is a very easy class to overlook, as I first did, but it can actually be quite effective. I wouldn't recommend using it on every map though, just the ones with the long lanes. To catch up on the previous videos I did discussing the Scout and Engineer, check out the videos that I've linked below. Additionally, once the Heavy and Soldier class videos become available, I'll have them linked below as well. Do you think I missed anything? Have any other tips and tricks? Be sure to let us know. As always, likes and subs are appreciated, and be sure to follow us on Twitter and check out our website for more Gears content. And until next time, thanks for watching.
There's no way I missed that!